This is a song that I wrote for Cassandra Wilson. They called me and asked me to write a song. It was great deal. That was really, I said all of this stuff makes sense when you get a call like that. This is one of the greatest, the last of the great diva jazz singers. Now that the late, great Abby Lincoln has passed. And so what I did was I wrote a song based upon the Greek myth of Cassandra, since that was her name. And so I tried to bonicize this a little bit, put, get put a little English on it. And it's called The Prophet of Doom. So if I could give you a slow turn of the blues. My name is Cassandra, daughter of Hecuba, priestess of Athena, student of Apollo, and sister of Paris. They called me the prophet of doom. I told the fool to leave that married woman alone, the one with the so-so looks. I said she had ruined our Trojan home, and she did. Apollo took me to school, but I taught him a thing or two. Never think that because you were a guy, every girl's going to put out for you. He must have thought I was an easy nymph, someone that he could seduce and pimp. I predicted that my master would die, and he did. I said that his wife would behead the man who took me as booty, and she did. She had the wrong idea about our relationship. Violated by the soldier Ajax, Athena ordered the thunder to punish him, and she did. My name is Cassandra. They call me the prophet of doom. The one they wouldn't listen to. The one they call insane. They got on me about my dreads, my hair that wouldn't be tamed. The one whom they brought to Greece naked and in chains. I said that the country would fall, and it did. I am Cassandra. They call me the prophet of doom. CD called Sacred Ground, the Black Saint Quartet led by David Murray, and the song is performed by Cassandra. If you want to see the rehearsal and our collaboration, it's on YouTube, like everything else in the world. This is I have my CDs out there. I started studying jazz piano at the age of 60. Decided, why write jazz poetry when you could be doing it, So I studied under Susan Mozzarella, the great jazz pianist, and now I'm studying under Mary Watkins. He's like the drill sergeant in Officer and Gentleman. Don't tell us. But I must really enjoy humiliation. This is called Army Nurse. We got the great journalist Jack White right there. One of the great journalists in America today, sitting right there. Thanks for coming up, Jeff. I look forward to your Berkeley news and then to current events. Okay. She was different when she returned from combat. Her folks all say she was. The luminous smile that charmed her friends was left on the battlefield of war. The radiant music that made her dance was placed inside an attic drawer. Those corn tortillas she loved so much when uneaten on her plate. Rumors crept about the town about her mental state. She overwhelmed herself with tasks. She stopped attending mass. She sent her bow to another girl, gave back his ring and cash. Her favorite books were left undead or only talk about the dead, of sloshing through the floors of bone and blood and gore. One Cactus, Texas morning, her mother went to see how she was feeling. She opened the door and saw her child. Her brains were on the ceiling. And that's on the CD that we have called For All We Know. And David Murray's on there. Carla, who studied with some Russian in Pittsburgh. How did you get to Pittsburgh? You never explained it. And Roger Glenn, the great flutist or flautist, as they say, uptown New York. And let's see, and Chris Plantis, who plays the guitar. So that's out there on the table. And it rhymes. Which is, I mean, I don't know about you, but I read modern poetry, I understand what they're driving at. Maybe, I think a lot of them are frustrated painters. But I can see, that would be a difficult thing because painting equipment is very difficult, very expensive. Did you hear that about abstract expressionism came about because the CIA wanted to show the Soviet Union how, open-minded the United States was? I always figured these people who couldn't draw, Now I know for it. You know what Harry Truman said about abstract expressionism? Does anybody know? If that's art, I'm a Hottentot. I was embarrassed. I said, boy, I look at President Truman said that too. I write stuff about my neighborhood. I've written songs. We live on a block that's in the middle of being, in what they say, transition. And sometimes I have to tell my spouse and daughter not to return from shopping because there are people shooting. A lot of people in California from Texas and Louisiana. I interviewed Bobby Seale, for a book I'm writing about Muhammad Ali. And his whole biography was about all the guns. He measured his maturity, going from childhood to maturity by the guns he got. He said, well, when I was 12, I got 25 because I was too young to have a shotgun. But I mean, that's sort of like the atmosphere out there. So this is a very serious moment. It's about a hit-and-run accident that happened along the corner. But we finally got that crack house demolished after 5 years. So I took a picture of myself before they operated, right there in front of the police. We always go to these meetings and say, why are the police so chummy with the crack house? I was even thinking about all the college scholars, college education we paid for. They put in the suburbs, But anyway, medical bills. This is called hit and run. How California has changed. 40 years ago, when a pedestrian left the curb, the cars would stop. Try stopping for one now, and you're liable to get your rear ended. Everybody is in a hurry. The big hurry. Thou still unravished pride and quietness of today is the cell phone. They have turned Market Street into a NASCAR strip with no checkered flag to stop the cars. Children en route to Santa Fe School scurry for safety. Irish LaRonda Simmons was killed here by someone who was in a big hurry. They didn't even stop to find out what happened. What was the big hurry? Was there libido where their engine should have been? Were they using testosterone or estrogen or oil? Were they all cranked up? Now there's another altar with flowers, teddy bears, and a Mardi Gras balloon, libations of rum, vodka, gin, and a sign that reads, slow down. With lavender-colored chalk, someone has written R.I.P. LaRonda. LaRonda will never kiss her relatives, will never chat with her girlfriends. LaRonda will never sing in the choir, will never watch Oprah or sample Denzel, will never again hear that bird that shows up in North Oakland around October whistling a 3-note blues chord. All because someone was in a hurry, a big, big hurry. She was 26 years old. This is all these pests in my backyard. It's called scrub jays. And I take the voices of a bird, which a lot of people say, well, that's inevitable that you would do that, take the voices. You know, Satire, the great writer who wrote Precious, going on in a country called Mentally Ill. You know, my reply to that is 40 million people who are suffering from bipolar disorder are going to take up a petition, because this is an insult to them, right? Get it? I mean, you know. Well, this is Gettysburg College. You know, I walked into the hotel there, you know, and I had asked Sheila, who won the war? I mean, I'm dining there, and there's Stonewall Jackson, you know, these war criminals and things. I mean, it's like a Jewish person going into a Roman hotel, and there's Himmler and Heidegger. I'm afraid to sleep in that hotel tonight. It's Rodney Lee. But anyway, but they, you know, now they control Congress, so what am I mean, all they have to do is wait it out. I saw something called the George Bush School of Intelligence. Was it? You know, coming to town, these Confederate flags. And I said, wow, you sure this is Gettysburg? Sure. Scrub jays. Free as a bird, you wish, grounded and cross old man, glaring from the kitchen window as I stab my beak into your choice apples at the top of your tree. You can ball your fists all you want. You can grit your plastic teeth, but there's nothing that you can do about it. What good are apples to old men anyway? You have lost your bite. You have run out of letters. Your ultrasonic, solar-powered animal repellent, the Honda among persuaders, might rid your garden of the capital cats, but the bandit raccoons figured out that one within 48 hours. Getting rid of one pest only invites others. You are in your 70s, and you haven't learned that? Now that the coast is clear, our entire family can fly in. I know we are waterless. We are born thieves. We'll steal an acorn from a woodpecker. We've beaten you out of your harvest. We, who are not the decorous, fluorescent songbird of your dream. And I started talking to crows a few years ago, which has got to improve my reputation for eccentricity, right? And, so I wrote a poem about the crows. It's called Gustav. A scientist says that crows can recognize human faces. After he released those he tested in labs, they harass him whenever he took a walk. I guess that's why crows don't talk to me anymore. Strolling along the path of the Emeryville Marina, we used to be good buddies. They'd do 3 calls, I would do 3. And then they would do 4 calls, and I would respond to 4. But now, they're silent. I must have said the wrong thing. I guess they're on to me. I guess they're saying among themselves, there goes that fellow who thinks he's one of us. I never got as close to a crow as Marlise. Her mother bought Gustav for 5 Swiss francs. He used to follow her to school and would perch on a tree branch outside her classroom. He'd stand on her shoulder when she went horseback riding. Her stepfather and brothers hated Gustav. When he flew into their bedroom window, the brothers smothered him with linen and laughed as he struggled. After that, the brothers were the objects of his furious pecking. He'd tear out their hair. He'd crow-sack the kitchen, broke dishes, covered himself with flour. When Marlise returned from Catholic school, she found out that the stepfather had shot the crow. She never forgave him. Read from my collected works, and I was this is another voice. I take a historical person, and this is called Notes on Virginia. Notes on Virginia. Okay. Just the title, huh? All right. But anyway, I woke from my slumber to find her standing over me. The wench held a dagger. She was about to stab me, but I seized her wrist. There was venom in her green eyes. Her Nigerian nose was flaring. After we struggled the weapon from her hand, she spat in my face. Last week I found ground up glass in my breakfast. And then the mysterious fire in my study where I was editing the Bill of Rights. Her defiance excites me, but I warn her that if her vain attempts continued, I would put her son on a spit. He was among those wretches who served dinner tonight. And the impudent Frenchman said, "Why, he looks like you. He shan't be invited to Monticello." Again. Okay. That's a different, that's a revisionist thing. And, they made Andrew Jackson into a rock star. You see that? They got a play on Broadway calling him like, sort of like the Rolling Stones or Keith Richards of his time. Yeah. Okay. I wonder what the Cherokee think about that. Of course, when they went on their Trail of Tears, you know about the Trail of Tears in Cherokee? They took their black slaves with them. There's another revision already. Okay, this is I do some public stuff, and so I just did a contract with Richmond, California, where my stuff will go up there on a new BART station. So this is a public a poem that was written for a project undertaken by Robert Haas, the poet laureate, and he selected some poems that would go on the sidewalk in Berkeley on Austin Way. So if you go to Berkeley, California, you go to Austin, and there are these a lot of famous, including Intos like Shanky, people like that on the sidewalk. Here's mine. It's called Going East. Elsewhere, a babe's first words might be mama or dada. In Berkeley, babes are born in a lotus position. Their first word is karma. There might be more Buddhists in Berkeley than in Tibet. Some are from Tibet, but many are from Brooklyn. Bishop George Berkeley, you got it backwards. It's go east, young man. Go east. This one is called, what is that? Is Paul still here? Yeah. Come on up. Sheila, I want to thank you, Susan, all of the hard work you do. It's about this audience is dead. I need some. We now bored. We got all the girls. I got to be like one of these hip hop boys, man. Just what was that? Okay, now this is like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. When I die, I will go to jazz. As Ted would say, let them go to heaven or let them go to hell. When I die, I want to go to jazz. Who needs Gabriel when we got Clifford Clark, Lee and Bix, And you can add badges that distinguish makes the president really sit on their thrones and their courtware, pork pies, gardenias, and checkered vests, and the temple of the places like Denzel Best, with Mingus and Ray Brown doing the chores on bass. A place where Satch is Avatar, and Sunrock, Gill, and Count are resident sages. And among those on trumpet are Bats and Hot Lips Page. With Klug on drums and Train on axe, 1,000 years of jamming, for what more could I ask? Let them go to heaven and let them go to hell. When I die, I want to go to jazz. Don't surround me with no cherubim with their golden locks, a place where there's no vodka on the rocks, and spare me the diet of milk and honey in this high-up Lincoln Center where it's all about the money. What use are angels singing a cappella when I can have Dinah, Sarah, and a scatting Ella? A tisket, a tasket, I lost my yellow basket. Mr. Paganini, please play my melody. I want to spend eternity in a place where they can swing it. No need for paradise where anybody can wing it. The folks in jazz might not dress in white garments, but they're as natty and clean as a stylish Earl Garner, a duke in his tails, gloves, and black top hat, and St. Peter is Baz Gonzalez saying, "Welcome home, cats." The residents of jazz are bopping in the aisles as diggers and birds walk 4 miles. And spare me the sounds of celestial harmonics. I prepare something like jazz at the Philharmonic, jumping with my boys theater in the city. When I die, I will go straight to jazz. No need for me to encounter the Naz. Don't send me off with no razzmatazz. Some bars around midnight will do just fine, and lacking that, some Earl Father Hines. I want to be anybody else want to be? Okay. I want to be a right-wing family values type of man. You guys have Dick Army here, right? Dedicated to Dick Army. And Ron Williams, okay. Have 100 century commencements. Okay, let's see. I want to be a right-wing family values type of man. Frequent all the porno and smut shops that I can. Lecture the ghettos about their promiscuity while giving some hot babes some hoochie coochie. I want to be a right-wing family values type of man. Preach that drug laws should not bend, but you find me in Georgetown snorting coke in the weekend. I want to be a right-wing family values type of man. Insist that low street crimes be brought to the doctor while easing a little soft money into my expensive suit pocket. I want to be a right-wing family values type of man. You see me in the campaign ads with my wife, dog, and child. But when partying with the boys, I get a little wild. Have strippers and drag queens coming out the ears after doing more than a half dozen beers. But tomorrow, I'm in Congress raising moral sand because I be a right-wing family values type of man. This is a poem that's performed by little Jimmy Scott, the great singer, and it's called Skirt Dance. I am to my honey what marijuana is to Tijuana, the Acapulco gold of her secret harbors. Up her lush coast, I glide at midnight, bringing a full boat. That's all the Spanish I know. Well, you can tell how ancient I am, Acapulco. Well, okay. I've been invited to the Library of Congress twice. You go there, the poor boy invites you, and you they have this great dinner, and there's people playing about $500,000 worth of fiddles and all this. Just wonderful. So you're supposed to leave a poem for posterity. So I left this one because I was young, And you know, at that time, you were throwing out noses at the bourgeoisie until, you know, you get hit by the mortgage. You're on the other side. But I love this poem because I read about Franklin Pierce's wife. That although he was short, but you remember Franklin Pierce? Herman Melville's a friend. I think that's how he go down history. But he's a hangout. But he was a matinee idol. He was sort of like a very handsome guy. But his wife was a recluse, and she remained out of sight. So I wrote this poem entitled Mystery First Lady. Franklin Pierce's wife never came downstairs. She never came upstairs either. If I had a nickel for all the women who rejected me in my life, I would be the head of the World Bank. With a flunky to hold my derby as I prepared to fly a charter jet to sign a check to give India a new lease on life. If I had a nickel for all the women who loved me in my life, I would be the World Bank's assistant janitor. Wouldn't need to wear a derby. All I'd think about would be going home. This is a poem I wrote for my partner of 45 years. When lovers die, they blossom grapes. That's why there's so much wine and love. That's why I'm still drunk on you. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, Humble Blues. And I was sort of like, there's a magazine there, and they asked me to contribute something about Memphis. And I was struck by the fact that they built a statue to General Nathan Forrest. You know, he's Scots Irish. Don't blame them on the Scots Irish, because so was Ulysses Grant. Okay, so there was split quarrel going on within them. But you know, Nathan Forrest was a founder of the Klan and committed what was called the atrocity of the war, the Fort Pillow Massacre, where he murdered Union troops and black soldiers and their families, even though they surrendered. So I mean, even some of the Confederate soldiers got really turned off by it. So I wrote this poem for Memphis. I guess I can't go back to, let's see. I was born in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm a Southern kid. And I was born in Chattanooga, and I've been in Memphis, I've been in Knoxville. And they're a great city, beautiful landscape. You know, too bad they got too many Sarah Palin types down there. You like the guys? Didn't see Jack White over there? Jack White did this thing about King. Remember the Ames and show? Kingfish sued Sarah Palin over the word refuting. But anyway, great. Anyway, this is called Memphis. You can't have it both ways, Memphis. A sleek red wing tipping into the 21st century, a bloody Confederate boot in the 19th. You boast all the trappings of civilization, the Peabody Hotel with its duck promenade and chocolate-minted pillows, the Beale Street of flocking tourists, your barbecue beer and the blues, your civil rights museum, where you can board a Montgomery bus and sit in the back, and Graceland, home of the man who couldn't growl like Big Mama thought. Memphis, your river is known far and wide. They tell me that you can get a direct flight to Amsterdam from here. They show me the courtroom where the firm was shot. So Memphis, why don't I feel good about visiting here? Why, with all these things going for you erect a statue to General Nathan Forrest, founder of the Klan, killed of Negroes at Fort Pillow, axe murderer? What is wrong with your heart, Memphis, that you would honor such a man? Will you one day build a statue to Richard Speck, adorned with strangled angels? Or what about Jeffrey Dahmer? Will you erect one to him with the epitaph, he served mankind? have a different point of view. About a lot of things that some people cherish. Remember that song that the Beatles did called I Am the Walrus? Okay, and you remember they were going through this sort of like Orientalism, where they, dabbed into Buddhism and things like Oriental things. And we all one thing and everything. But John Lennon and his wife lived in Dakota House, one of the most expensive address in New York City. I tell you, no walrus could get in there. Tight security. Dakota House, okay? So I wrote a poem. Someone said that all of nature should have an advocate. So I wrote a poem entitled, I Am Not the Walrus, I Am the Virus. Your insides are my soul. Your defenses against me. Your science impotent. Your antibiotics, I tricked them. I am not the walrus, I am the virus. Wipe that smile off your face. This is serious. I can make you clear spending all your waking hours in the can. Nobody can give you a hand. I am not the walrus. I am the virus. I can render you incapable of eating, of loving. When I'm finished with you, you will curse the day you were born. Your mother, your father, your God cannot help you. I spit on your God. I will make you hot all over. I will sing you chills. Your bills will pile up. You will bleed from every hole in your body. Oh, you think I'm ugly? Just for that, I will pock up your pretty face. You will put food into your throat path. I will block the path. Population control, get out the way. I'll show you how to deal with that. Your body will shrink like a pop balloon. I will follow you into the ground. I will fight the bugs over you. You are mine. You belong to me. I am not the walrus. I am the virus. Okay. This is to the Africana Colleges I want to murder. Instead of fictitious piece, because I've heard this on the radio about the case of this moment. When I came home, you were in the dining room. You had a couple of shots and you were crying. I asked, excuse me, you heard of hate crime? This is called love crime. When I came home, you were in the dining room, you had a couple of shots and you were crying. I asked you what happened and you told me that you didn't know a nurse was supposed to be present when the gynecologist examined you. I went to his house. I was so mad, the steering wheel was shaking. I knocked out his dope. I disarmed his alarm system. I waited for him to come home and he finally did, driving up in an obnoxious utility wagon 4 miles to the gallop. He was whistling a tune that I hate, a tune from a bad musical. When we got to the door of his $3 million tour home, I came up from behind the bushes. He didn't recognize me in my Mickey Mouse mask. I treated his throat the way he treated your servant. I wrote some graffiti on his garage door. The police will call it a hate crime, but they will have it wrong. This is an old poem I wrote. 1981, when Ronald Reagan was inaugurated, and I was sort of like depressed about that movie star election, because we had a guy in California, so we knew what was going to happen. I feel like a zoo spying from a rock while below the settlers exchanged toast on grounds where a massacre of zoos occurred. They are filthy rich. Their wives are dolled up in black mink. There is much hugging and squealing. These people like Glenn Miller a whole lot. 52 of their countrymen have been freed by barbarians overseas. Quote, just out of the trees. Only way I'm going back is in a B-52, he said, putting some air on his chest and passing around a jug of whiskey. The settlers shoot at stars. The settlers jitterbug all night on the Zulu grounds. I have 9 children buried there. 9 were all they could find. Boston. If you want to save some money, always stare a gift cat in the mouth, especially if you bought him on Russian pill. He might develop a palate. When California is split in two. The northern part will be called the Republic of Jambalaya. The southern part will be called Summer Camp. Grizzly. He always, well, up in Alaska, giving Grizzly a bad name. Did you see the hairstyle thing last night? She says she digs watching grizzly bears wrestle. Wow, okay. Okay. He always prided himself on never being caught with his paws down. The flying grizzly left his bear tracks at 50,000 feet. His life a daily peach blossom. He always managed to find some hot honey to dip into. He was smiling all the time, licking his lips, till Mrs. Grizzly discovered him in the bush with some outside trim of a wonderful red cabbage, and Mrs. Grizzly grounded her teddy bear, the rough rider, under her fur coat. She was not taken in by his sweet word beads. Last trip back to the cave, he felt like he'd entered customs after return from an enemy city. What are those claw marks doing on your back? Are those huckleberry stains on the front of your pants? Why do you have that fishy smell? The divorce left him belly up. He's somewhere right now, dressed in the white and black checkered pants, being led in the neck by a rope, while he bangs on a dirty bass drum. A little monkey toots a whistle, little dogs taunt him, and little children tug at his ears. San Francisco Opera has a libretto based upon they asked me to write an opera based upon the arrest of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, right? And I made Judas a hero. And Lazarus complains about being brought back from the dead. And his mother complains about having to take care of him. And so I did a different version. But I have here a poem I wrote about Judas. Funny about best friends, huh, Lord? Always up in your lap, up in your face, laughing and talking, leading the praise after your miracles. That Judas, you had great hopes for him. Good background, good looking, even in a corduroy suit made in Poland, $30 shoes. It was his quiet appeal that kept the group in wine money. As soon as you turned your back, you took your business to the Goya. Told him, you go around telling everybody you're the Son of God. You see how careful you have to be about who you go bar hopping with, Jesus? Now you're drowsy, Jesus. They prick you full of Thorazine. They give you electroconvulsive therapy. You don't know where you are. You have sores where the straitjacket doesn't fit. You're wringing wet from where you've been sweating all night. You squirm on filthy straw. But stick it out, Jesus. Where are you going? The drums don't stop. They serve Napa Valley champagne at every meal. Everybody smokes big cigars. Sweet angel hair be tickling your back while you invent proverbs in a hot tub. Where Judas is going, the people don't know how to fix ribs. Biscuits taste like bacon soup. Wine is sweet and sticky. Flowers can't grow on this landscape of jinxed hearts. The field of blood. So this day is called the field of blood. We did a sort of like a. Okay, this is another old piece called Pope Replies to the Ayatollah Khomeini. I don't know if you recall the Ayatollah Khomeini that the Pope put an ad in the New York Times, $12,000 ad, saying that there should be more liberty and freedom in Iran. The Ayatollah Khomeini got upset, so the Pope replied. So here's the Pope replying to the Ayatollah Khomeini. My dear Khomeini, I read your $14,000 ad asking me why the Vatican waited all these years to send an envoy to complain about conditions in Iran. You're right. We should have sent one when the Shah was in power. Look, I'm in total agreement with you, Khomeini, that Christ, had he lived in Iran under the Shah, would have led the biggest damn revolt you ever saw. Believe me, Khomeini, I knew about the Shah's decadence, his extravagance, his misdeeds, and how he rolled about luxury with Iran's loot. I knew about the Trail of Jewels, that led to his dad's capture. Well, a fella has to eat, so when David Rockefeller asked me to do something, how could I refuse? You can afford to be holding the dollar. What is it, $30 per barrel these days? You must be bathing in oil. Well, each day I suffer a new indignity. You know that rock record they made me do? It's about 300 on the charts, which is about as low as you can get. And I guess you read where I had to call in all these cardinals and for the first time reveal the Vatican budget. I just about had to get down on my hands and knees to get them to co-sign for a loan. The Vatican jet has a mechanical problem, and the Rolls Royce needs a new engine. The staff hasn't been paid in months. The power company is threatening to turn off the candles. And to add to that, the building inspectors listed us as having 30,000 code violations. I'm telling you, committee, and so many people leaving the church have this nightmare, where I wake up in one day in Los Angeles, and I'm the only one left. Pretty soon we'll be one of those cults reading about the San Francisco Chronicle. So, committee, I promise you that when we pay off the deficit, I won't send an envoy. I'll come visit you myself. I'd like to discuss this plan that Patriarch Demetrios of the Greek Orthodox Church and I came up with. You know, we haven't spoken to those fellows in 900 years. But when you're $20 million in the red, you talk to anybody. I'll read one more here. Two more. Something a little less grim. Let's see. Okay, this is one that's bound to make you uncomfortable. I wrote two poems, one about Jefferson and one about somebody else, this Heidegger, who, Heidegger was a Nazi, as you all know, in Freiburg, and some consider him to be a great philosopher, although I couldn't understand half the points he used. I guess they're better than the original Germans. But he loved Jewish women, okay? So I mean, some guys who hate the race but love the women. You understand? So he talked about his paradox. This is Heidegger's paradox. You know, he had an affair with Hannah Arendt. You all know that, right? Okay. To him, so some other businesses. In the country of the blonde, the brunette one's a queen. My wife is Brunhilde on her pigtails. Like the joke that made Henny Youngman famous. Take my wife, please. Her eyes are lynx blue. You have to have the stamina of a Jesse Owens to bring her to a climax. Not so with Hannah. Well, Ed Reed is teaching aerobics to her light-haired Uberfrau. I summoned Hannah to the attic. First we listened to Fats Waller, smoked some Chesterfields, talked some Jaspers. Then I unbuttoned her. After all, I am the teacher. She is the student. Later she will write about Augustine's cravings. Let me tell you about mine. There come a night when I'm lying next to my Wagnerian cell. I think of you, Hannah. The day you entered my office, there was drizzle on the streets of Freiburg. That Parisian raincoat, that fashionable hat pulled over your eyes. Dark as sturgeon's eggs, dark as feet of bearers. Too bad the rest of them are not like you. They speak German with a Russian accent. Every time I see one of your brothers sharing a nightclub table with one of our women, I want to reach for my pistol. And the last one, I'll read first and then gentleman will play the song. It's called If I'm a Welfare Queen, Where Am I? Jules and Fur. Okay. If I'm a welfare queen, where are my jewels and furs? The baby kept me up all night. The money in the house was low. The people got me into this, send their kids to school and so. They took the 4-year-old away from me and said that I am unfit. I work 7 days for $5 per hour. They say that I lack grit. If I'm a welfare queen, where are my jewels and furs? The oldest tried to help me out. They buried him last week. He entered the turf of a rival gang. They shot him in the streets. The undertaker sent a bill. I have to pay it off. Their papers mock me every day. They say I have it solved. If I'm a welfare queen, where are my jewels and furs? I travel 50 miles a day. They call it work for fair. Her sister tends the youngest child. So her is rare. I've tried my best to make a way, but people just don't care. If I'm a welfare queen, where are my jewels and furs? You have to play all, just play something. I'll tell you this stuff, okay? If I'm a welfare queen, where are my jewels and furs? The baby kept me up all night. No money in the house for milk. The people who got me into this send their kids to school in silk. They took the 4-year-old away from me. They said that I'm unfit. I work 7 days for $5 per hour. They say that I lack grit. If I'm a welfare queen, where are my jewels and furs? Okay, you can hear the whole CD. That's all.